Hello, good day and salutations. Welcome to the Perler Project. Today's mini project will be the creation of a few Space Invaders. Many gamers would have played Space Invaders at some point during their lives, and this comes as no surprise since the game has been doing the rounds since 1978. It is in fact one of the few games which has been ported across arcades, consoles, mobile devices, and even electronic keyrings. You don't necessarily have to have been a big gamer to have seen, played, or owned some part of the Space Invaders memorabilia at some point during your life. In recent years we have seen these Space Invaders invade towns and cities across the world with numerous pixel-based tile creations popping up at these locations. To think that these little pixel-based sprites were once the cutting edge of graphics and game development beggars belief. But thankfully, due to their pixelated nature, they transfer extremely well into Perler Bead patterns. A bit of information about this particular project. I'm once again using my large pegboard, and I have chosen to try and create 4 different invader types. As you can see, there is definitely enough space here to accommodate the 4 types, and while the total design time was about 25 minutes, including ironing, I should point out that a good chunk of that time was actually spent on the calculation of spacing requirements. The great thing about following this tutorial is the fact that you won't have to do any calculation. You could just start placing your beads without any fuss and hopefully won't spend far too long in creating your designs. Colour is not hugely important, and that is really because the Space Invaders game was initially launched in monochrome. Only subsequent releases of the game saw colour being introduced, but really the project itself is a great way to waste some of your spare beads and use them up rather than throwing them away. You can select pretty much any colour to create your designs with, but do bear in mind that I have had to include the black border on all of these designs. While the red spaceship doesn't necessarily require the black border given its shape, all other designs do require the black border in order to stick together properly. Unfortunately, they are very fragile, and if you don't include this black border, bits will fall off, will not stick at all, or will be subject to breaking very easily. As I said, colour isn't all that important, so don't feel you need to use the black beads. I can probably understand that, as they are probably the most commonly used beads, but I do feel that in this particular instance they make the colour stand out more effectively. Though feel free to experiment, you might find a better combination than I have. The designs themselves are not particularly complex, but as I said, the spacing requirements were the part that took the longest time for this project. The 4 designs shown here are by no means a complete list of Space Invader designs. Future videos may explore various new designs. But until then, I hope you've enjoyed this video, learned something new about Space Invaders, and more importantly, learned how to create Space Invaders using Perler Beads. Thank you for watching, and we hope to see you soon for another Perler project.